All right, good evening and welcome to the Leopard Lair. I'm your host, John Aljancic. We really appreciate you joining us tonight, and we have an action-packed show for you tonight with members of our girls volleyball team as well as members of our girl cross-country team. So really excited to talk to them. First up, we're going to start with our 14-5 girls volleyball team coming off a big victory, a big 4-set victory over Austintown Fitch last night. And girls, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. So first of all, we have Addison, Burick, Brooke, Haren, Sloane, Sypolt, and Kiersten, Kendall. Our 4 senior members here of the volleyball team. And well, first of all, let's talk about last night in terms of the game. An action-packed 4-setter. How did it go for you guys personally?
Personally, I think it went really well. The past 2 years, we've taken Fitch to 5, but we haven't been able to pull out the win. So I feel like the win last night was really, very good for our morale.
And I think the biggest thing is we had a plan going in. We had practiced 2 days before a certain defense that we were ready to adjust and change to, and we did that and completely shut them down offensively.
Awesome.
I also think it's huge that we just took them in 4 because I remember last year we went to the 5th set and we just lost by about 2 points. So to beat them by a whole set is just really good.
Wow, it just shows tremendous growth as a team.
For sure.
So obviously the season's going well so far, 14-5. Has that met your expectations going in? Have you exceeded that, or kind of take us into that?
I think coming off last season, I wasn't sure what to expect. We were a young team last year, so obviously things could only go up from there because we all have a little bit more experience now. We all obviously have experience, but our underclassmen have more experience now. So, but I do think that we have exceeded the expectations. I don't know how you guys feel, but
I don't think I had not to say I didn't have any expectation, but we've fully met my expectation.
I think
we're exceeding.
I just think we didn't worry about our record. Obviously, our record wasn't that pretty last year, but I think this year we just focused on emphasizing our skills and just going in and winning matches to the best of our ability.
That's awesome. Well, so far, some great wins over a good Green team, good Glen Oak team, a great 5-set victory over Tuslaw. Obviously some highlights and for you personally, Kendall, five aces against Tuslaw on a big 5-set win. What's been the highlight of your guys' season so far up to this point? Obviously, there's a lot of meat left on the bone, but up to this point, what's been a highlight for each one of you?
I just think that playing as a team finally and just being one unit on the court has been really amazing this year, and I think that's what's helped us a lot.
For me, it's the big wins, like you said, Fitch, Glen Oak, and Green. The past years we haven't been able to beat them. We've been close 5-setters, but to be able to put them away, beating Glen Oak in 2, then beating Fitch in 4, and then 4 versus Green. Those are just big wins. They're going to help us in the tournament and just get us ready for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as the season went on, our schedule has just gotten tougher and tougher, and I think we've done really well on playing up to that level and just keep pushing all season long. So
For me, it's everyone continuing to do their job because I feel like a lot of times our lineups have changed and we've continued to come together and form and still play to the best of our abilities even though the lineups are always changing.
So what's the key to coming together as a team? Because you hear about that a lot, and successful teams or teams that play well together are able to do that. For you guys personally, before this show, we talked a decent amount, and to say these girls are loose is an understatement. They really enjoy each other's company and get along well. But how do you harness that teamwork and that camaraderie?
I think it starts at the beginning of the year. We train a lot preseason in the summer. We went to Cedar Point this year. We did a couple of tournaments. And then just throughout the year, we know how to focus at times. We also know how to have fun. We were doing this thing recently where we talk in these southern accents, and it drives our coach insane. But during the game, it keeps us loose, but we can still stay focused with it. And I think that's the big thing. We just love to have fun with each other and just playing the game.
Coach Mahalik's not a huge fan of the southern accent.
Not at all. But I think the way that we've just been able to bond this year too. I just feel like we're closer than ever, that we have been in the past few years, and I think it's really helping because we all know what to expect out of each other going into each game. So
I think something that helps us in a lot of our matches is that we have energy and we have good attitudes because without that you can't really win.
Yeah, I think everyone on the team is really good at uplifting each other. If someone makes a bad play, just hey, shake that off, next play. And I think we do a really good job of doing that all game long and just picking each other up.
Yeah.
And we don't do that all the time because you can definitely see the sets that we lose, we'll get in ruts or we won't have the energy that we normally do, and so that definitely makes a difference when we do have it.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of talked about some great wins you guys have had this year, but obviously some tough losses against like Stowe, Hoban, Perry, some really good teams. And kind of what I like to take away from games that I used to coach or play was three things. What did I do well? What did I learn? And how do I apply what I learned? From those losses, what do you think you guys have learned? And how do you apply that moving forward into your season?
I think the biggest one for me personally, I think for this team is Hoban. Hoban's one of the highest ranked teams, not just in Ohio, but in Division I. And they're probably going to make a really deep tournament run. But we were one of the only teams to take a set from them. And we competed with them at a very high level. And I think for me, that just shows us as a team that we're up there. And if we can play to that level each night, play like there's a Hoban on the other side of the net, we're going to do really good things.
Yeah. I think something that we really took away from Hoban especially is just going into the game, like, just ready to play. We didn't have any expectations of that game. Like, as Brooke said, we know they're really good going into that game. So we just played loose, played our game, and we took a set. We played tight sets with them, and I think it just really showed us, like, what we're capable of.
Yeah, I think it represented our grit really well because we just, as our coach says, act like the other team is faceless. And on paper, that Hoban team is definitely better than us, but I think we came in and, like, gave them a run for their money that night. So...
Well, the beautiful part is games aren't played on paper, right?
Yeah.
Moving forward. So. Now, on a personal level, Addison, just a couple days ago, broke the career assist record in the volleyball program, a 16-year-old record set by Amanda Jabe 16 years ago. How special was that for you? Was that a goal for you, like when you first started playing Leopard volleyball? Or is that just something that just kind of all of a sudden you showed up and you're like, wow, I'm pretty close to that?
Well, yeah, coming into this season, I knew it was like attainable. I hadn't really thought of it like that much before, but coming into this season, I was like, this is something I could get this season. So I was like, I just gotta, my dad had it all mapped out. He was like, you need this many per game. And we're just gonna, and then when I got close though, I didn't want to know. I was like, Coach, don't tell me. I'm just gonna play. Just gonna play, keep playing. And then she told Brooke how many I was away, and I was stressing out, but I think, yeah.
I was trying to keep it a secret from her. People were like, does she know? And I was like, no, we're not telling her this. We're going to keep it a secret because I knew on the floor, and I was just like, guys, we just got to put the ball. I was just emphasizing putting the ball away, and I think the energy, you could feel it coming, but I didn't want her to know, so I was just like, hey, just keep doing your job, and it'll get done.
I think if you watch the video on the one that I got, like the one that broke the record, Taylor like gives me a hug, and I'm just like, what? And she's like, that was the one that you needed, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
All right, so you guys are great secret keepers. That's awesome. You won't crack under interrogation. So fantastic. So, okay, so 3 more games left to go. And then we have a tournament draw this coming Sunday.
Yes.
What's the goal for the team? Obviously, again, it's been a good season up to this point, but now the rubber's kind of meeting the road. It's game on. What's the goal for this team as you enter tournament time?
I think right now the biggest thing is we as a team have sat down with coaches. We're taking week by week goals. So first this week was to get 2 wins, which we did, and we had certain goals as hitters and passers that we wanted to meet. And then as we move on, we're talking about 2 weeks and ahead what goals we have, and then 3. So obviously our big one is we want to get to a district title and hopefully win one. But
I just think we want to just keep winning. We've talked about all season just coming out and playing like our game that we know how to play, and I feel like these last few matches, like we've definitely met the playing our game standard. So I think we just need to keep that up, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, I definitely think that we can make a pretty good run in this tournament this year, and I know that we all want to, and we're gonna work for that definitely.
I think just keep coming together and just keep improving little by little and just keep doing what we're doing.
That's fantastic. Well, good. Well, we talked about the season, but now you guys are all seniors, you know, and the season can't last forever. This school year can't last forever, unfortunately. But what are the future plans for each one of you individually, you know, whether it's college or what have you?
I'm gonna go play volleyball at Walsh next year. Not sure what I want to study, but just gonna play some volleyball. That's all I know.
All right.
I'm gonna go to Ursuline College to play basketball and study early education.
I'll either go to school and play volleyball and track, or I'll go to school for track and I'm gonna study sports management.
I'm not sure where I want to go, but I want to get my bachelor's in biology and then attend a physician's assistant program.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, I tell you what, the future looks really bright for you 4 ladies.
Thank you.
Not just on the volleyball court, but off of it as well. And we really appreciate you joining us tonight here at the Lair.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned. The girls cross country team up next.
Hello, I'm Tanya of Thomas Dental. Would you like to improve your smile? Maybe you think you're not a candidate. Here at Thomas Dental, we can offer you dental solutions from professional whitening, braces to full mouth restoration with payment arrangements for almost any budget. At Thomas Dental, you have access to a dentist 24/7, from routine dental visits to emergency dental care. We're one call away when you need dental help the most.
You like spending time with your family, but have you planned for when that is not possible? Kylah provide affordable estate planning protecting you and your family. Our experience is your solution. Kylah.
All right, welcome back to the Leopard Lair. I'm your host, John Aljancic, and we're here for our second segment with the girls cross country team. But before we talk to these lovely ladies and their coach, first of all, we want to thank our sponsors, the law firm of Kylah, as well as Thomas Dental and Associates, Cheerleading Techniques by Tori, and Beatty Sports, both the Hopeville and Louisville locations. So we really appreciate your support and letting us put this show on. So, all right, well, we're here with the cross country team with Kylah Meyer, Hailey Jackson, and Coach Ryan Kensal. We really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, first of all, Coach Ryan, how's the season going so far up to this point?
I think it's been going really well. It's my second year with the team and the girls, and they've come together really well this year. And each week has just been easily seen progress. Every Monday when we recap meets, I feel like Coach Bowman and I are consistently saying everybody had a great race. Here are the positives. Here's where we can make some improvements. And I feel like we've just the entire season been climbing that ladder to where we are now. Awesome. Now, Hailey, this is your first year of cross country. Have had a great track and field career so far, a junior in high school. How has the adjustment been, running the 400 meter in track to now all of a sudden you're running some distance here? How has that been for you so far this year?
It was definitely hard to adjust at first because I was doing 600 meters max, and then we're going out and doing workouts that are 3 miles long. It was a lot to get a hold of at first, but now that I'm into it, I'm really enjoying it, and the team makes it a lot easier to be able to make that change.
That's awesome. Now Kylah, a state qualifier last year, finished 12th, set a school record. A lot of highlights as a freshman. So far this sophomore season for you, how has it been on a personal level?
A lot easier on easier for with the people wise because I'm more bonded with them. Definitely a lot challenging, more challenging than it was last year with more competition with Daniela or a little bit of Minerva and some of the other schools.
Absolutely. Now, for a cross-country course, is there any one in particular, whether it's Stark County or any other meet that you prefer to run on? Some are more hilly than others, and maybe a course or two that you really don't care about too much to go back there and run again.
East Canton wasn't too bad. It was pretty nice, except for they had one steep hill that no one liked at all. There's a few of the courses Malone and Glen Oaks. We go there so much we don't really want to go there anymore because hills, and just going to Glen Oaks 3 times. Well, we've done it twice so far.
You'll be there in a couple weekends for
Yes.
the district meet. So, how about you, Hailey? A favorite place you've enjoyed running so far?
I really like Jackson's course because it's mostly flat, and it was just a lot easier to get a faster time. It felt when you weren't constantly being going up hills again, and it was pretty good. But I know Malone, everyone hates it because of the hill, but I kind of enjoyed the challenge because we worked hills a lot, and so everyone would start dying out on the hills, and the Louisville girls would be able to give a little extra push and pass people on the hills. Awesome.
Yeah, embracing the challenge. I think I read it one time, there is no shortcut to greatness. You have to put the work in. And so especially, being driven distance runners, how do you drive? What kind of drive, and how do you push yourself to get the most, to run the best race you possibly can race?
I think it's definitely very mental, but you just have to tell yourself you're gonna be in pain either way, so you might as well just keep pushing forwards and do the best you can do, because you're gonna be hurting afterwards, and you don't want to be like thinking that you should have done better. Like you want to just like give it your all every time, no matter how much it hurts.
The feeling, especially at the end of the race, is, well, after a little bit, it's actually nice knowing what you just did out there, like 3 miles, because not everybody can do that.
No, I know I can't. So awesome. Well, Coach Ryan, you coached boys at Hoover, took a little break, had a family. You're back here at Louisville for your second year. How have you, as a coach, gone from that first stint, which was a number of years ago, to now? What did you learn back at Hoover, and what have you brought to Louisville here in your second year now?
I think the first year I went in, I was so focused on, the training aspect of it and the workouts. And, I kind of forgot about how important team culture is. And you talked about that with the volleyball girls. And so I think this year we, especially coming into Louisville and having a smaller team, coaching boys and girls is very different, and girls bond a little bit differently than boys do. So, I kind of had to, and I got 3 girls of my own, and I understand kind of how to go about that in a way, and to see that different bond in those relationships built. So this year was a focus on bonding from the day one, and really letting them know like the expectations and the goals of the team and things we want to see, and kind of teaching them that process as well. You forget sometimes that these are still, student athletes that are learning as you go. So you can tell them one thing, but sometimes you still have to teach them, what that looks like, and hope that they, kind of model that. And these girls have done an awesome job of doing that this year.
Awesome. Well, just fresh off of a 5th place finish in Division I at the Stark County meet this past weekend at Glen Oak, which was a great accomplishment. The district meet coming up here in a couple weeks at Glen Oak. What are your guys' goals, both individually and as a team, for the rest of the season as you get into districts?
Well, me personally, I want to get closer to like some of the people that I didn't like pass at county. Especially as a team, we want to qualify for regionals, so we want to get better. So qualifying for regionals would be a really big deal for all of us.
Awesome. How about you?
I just really want to like work on improving my plays, because I know it'll like help the team out. Like the more people I pass, the less like points it adds to our score, which gets us like a little bit closer to regionals. And I know that's like a really big goal for all of us. So I just know like everything I do individually like helps my team out. So that's what like keeps me going a little more.
So what kind of accountability as a team? Because obviously it's the top 4 runners, correct? Or no, top 5 runners in a race?
Yeah.
That count. How do you guys build team chemistry, together? And how do you push each other when you are training to really bring out the best in one another?
Well, like over the summer, and still like within like the season, we would do like team bonding exercises. Like we'd go to different places. Like we've been golfing before. We went to get ice cream. Went to get pulp smoothies. But we love supporting each other throughout, because we like to run together. We like to cheer each other on workouts. And sometimes whenever like the courses would like kind of like Malone or Jackson, like we'd see each other halfway through, we'd always cheer each other on.
Yeah, I definitely think like the team bonding we do outside of like practice makes us closer when we're at practice, like because like outside of being teammates, we're all just like really good friends, which makes us like want to support each other even more, because like it's our friends we're looking at, and like we don't have to support them just because they're on our team. Like we actually care about each other.
That's awesome. Now, Coach, it's a long season, a lot of different meets, throughout the year. How do you build up their performance to really, obviously take off come district? Like, what's the key for you over the course of the season to really build that up?
I think it's just, I tell them that anybody can come out and do workouts. Like anybody can come and write a workout and piece something together for them and tell them what to do. But for Coach Bowman and I think it's the mental aspect. We tell them every day that, running 5,000 meters is not easy. And like Hailey referenced, like it's very mental, and it's going to hurt no matter what. So they have to embrace that. And I think a lot of times, people come into cross country and they do the training, but they don't have the mental aspect. They go into races maybe with a wrong mentality that it's going to be easy because they did all the workouts and they did all the work, but there's always going to be that pain. And I think we've just pushed that, and our motto for the year is, get used to like being comfortable running in an uncomfortable setting or uncomfortable feeling, and that's kind of what we've told them every week. You're going to be uncomfortable, and that's okay, but you have to keep pushing. And that's been like a big focus for us this year.
That's a great life lesson. I mean, not just for a cross country meet, but really a life lesson of life does get uncomfortable sometimes. You know, sometimes you wake up, you don't necessarily want to go to work or this, that, but you have to somehow rally yourself. And that's a great life lesson for these girls to learn, you know, at an earlier age. Right. So awesome. Well, last question for both of you. Personal record so far.
Well, so far I've been like working up the rink to see if I could get see if I could break the record for the 5K. So far, I think I'm halfway up. I don't know what exact place I'm at. But for the rest of the season, I want to get closer. Not exactly beat it, but just get closer this year, improve. So next year, I'll just be a little bit closer than I was last year to get it.
All right. How about you, Hailey?
Well, being my first year, I'm just trying to figure out where my good times are, and I got down in the low 21s, and I'd like to get lower into them and just try to keep lowering it and getting closer and closer to the number 1 and 2 runners on the team, and see myself higher in the rankings at meets.
Awesome. Well, Kylah, Hailey, Coach Ryan, thanks for joining us here at the Lair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks once again for joining us here at the Leopard Lair. We really appreciate you taking the time out to watch us. And once again, we want to thank our sponsors, Thomas Dental & Associates, the law firm of Kylah and Kylah, Beatty Sports, both in Hartville and Louisville, as well as Cheerleading Techniques by Tori. So thanks again for joining us. Have a good night and go Leopards.